everyone rise for the flag salute, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting for May 27th, 2021. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting, the Egg Harbor City Common Council was provided in the following manner. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the Egg Harbor City Hall bulletin board. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the Egg Harbor City website. Advance written notice of this meeting was sent to the Hamilton Gazette, the News, the Press, and the Current. Due to COVID-19 pandemic and social distancing requirements, the meeting is being conducted via Zoom conference. The meeting is also being recorded to air on the Egg Harbor City website and Channel 97. Roll call, please.
Mayor Jim Petty. Brown.
Here.
Here. Dash.
Here.
Heist. Sefton. Timbers.
Here.
Trithol.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Ritchie.
Here. Moving on, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from May 13th, 2021 regular council? Second, please. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Is there anyone from the public? Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment on any item on? All right, Mayor, the floor is yours for your report.
Thank you. I would like to report on the 2021 cleanup day. If everyone recalls, we used to have a giant cleanup day. About 300 to 500 people would clean up like 3 feet of trash. Since COVID, we haven't been able to do that, but we've been doing good. This year, we cleaned up 175 bags of trash, 55 bags.
Come here, Cooper. Come here.
People participated, and 8.5 miles covered. I would like to mention,
There's nobody out there.
Sorry, if you could put everybody.
That counts. Come on.
Who was Cooper? I would like to mention the people that participated, the South Jersey Stingers, Renault Winery employees, American Legion 158, Boy Scout Troop 76, Aaron Hoffman, Coalition for a Safe Community, Red Man Kickapoo, Apsagami Future Business Leaders of America, Zion Lutheran, Egg Harbor City Reach, Cedar Creek Green Team, Sigma Beta Rho at Stockton, Cedar Creek Lacrosse, Cedar Creek Key Club, the Green Team of Egg Harbor City, the First Baptist Church of Egg Harbor City, the Moravian Church, and these are individual families, the Tinsley family, the Allenbach family, the Chatton family, our family of City Hall employees. That would be Meg, Jackie, and Wayne, and the Hess family, the Peterson family, and the Lindsay family. So thank you to everyone who participated. Not what we usually do, but they did pick up an awful lot of trash, and I thank them for that. Also, I wanted to thank Public Works for the fantastic job they did getting all the work done at the lake. We are ready to open. I also want to mention that we did lose a longtime resident, Doris Mays. Many of you know Cliff Mays, a councilman here in Egg Harbor City. He lost his wife last week, and her funeral was this weekend. And I had the opportunity to go to the grand opening of the PAL in Egg Harbor Township, sponsored by Hector Tavera. How do you say? Taveras. Taveretti, right? Taveretti. And he's quite interested in coming to Egg Harbor City to start a PAL. Basically, all he would need is a piece of property, city property, and some maybe, if we did build a building, like if you go into Egg Harbor Township, it's a pole barn. Maybe the city could consider paying the utilities for it. So he has a wonderful STEM program there. He He's doing something with NASA this year and sports, and I think it'd be a great thing for Egg Harbor City. I'm sure we could partner with Crusaders and school, and it would be a real win-win situation. So,
I've been trying to do that for years.
and so let's hope that we can get him in here, because it would be a great thing for our kids. I also would like to remind everyone that the Memorial Day service this year is once again at the cemetery at 11 a.m. Everyone is encouraged to put a wreath or flags out in remembrance of those who gave their lives so we can enjoy the freedoms that we have today. I would like to let council know that I'm up to 2 people that I had to turn away for restaurants. The one person, as you know, wanted to have a Puerto Rican restaurant in Egg Harbor City, and because of the floral conditions of some of the properties up there, she was unable to do that. I had another young lady who was from Egg Harbor City call me and wants to put a seafood restaurant in Egg Harbor City. And I unfortunately had to tell her that the properties that are available in Egg Harbor City are not suitable for that because they're dilapidated. So hopefully we can change that, maybe by considering the ordinance that was put forth maybe a month or 2 ago, with changes that were recommended by the redevelopment committee, and it was tabled for some unknown reason, or not brought up again. So maybe we can consider that and really put our efforts into getting Philadelphia Avenue back in business. And last but not least, well, not last, but we are applying for a appropriations from the senator's office for a project, and we had chosen it's the dam repairs at Lake Ryan. Did you get to look into that at all?
Yeah, I talked to Josie, I sent her some information. The program essentially for just larger scale projects that have like regional benefits to the state. The only one that really stuck out for the city was repair replacement of the dam structure. The application sort of advised the average award is between 200 and 300,000. Full replacement is like $1.5 million. So we scaled it back to what would be probably spillway replacement and dam repairs on that like concrete wall head wall. So that's it's a real light application. Should we put that together? Send that in today or tomorrow.
Yes. So it's tomorrow's last day, and I thank you guys for doing that so quickly. And it's called appropriations application. And then John Rupp, I asked if we could give some flags out, so anyone from council wants a flag, you pass them around. I have some at home, Memorial Day. And that's from the veterans. And that's all I have, thank you. Oh, one thing, Renaud would like to come to a council meeting in June, I think. Renaud? No.
No.
What would you say Renaud now? Yeah. And one more note on that. They did agree that in absence of Leatherhead, that they would put a wine bar up in the beer garden this year for the food truck festival. And they did agree that we could use their golf carts because we somehow couldn't get golf carts that we had before.
Did they mention a reason why they want to come to the meeting?
Well, they have a lot of things that are going on. They did tell me some of them, but they're really not public yet, and they're really exciting.
But they just want to give an update on
They
their
want to give an
project
update
there.
on their project, because we do have properties on the foreclosure list that a gentleman named Peter Klein had brought up years ago, and it's our property. Some of them are on our side of the town, and Renault is interested in purchasing those properties for expansion, and they would like to update council on what they want to do. So if they're on our foreclosure list, which I think some of them are, I had mentioned that I think it would be a good idea, because apparently now we can't sell any property unless, it goes through the foreclosure process.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be wise to possibly do that, the properties that are connected to Renault. So for now.
Council President, is it okay if I reach out to them?
Absolutely.
And-
First meeting in June.
Put them up on like a presentation up front or something?
He may have to go to the second meeting.
Okay.
I'm not
Second?
sure. Maybe. You have to call.
All right,
You know,
I'll
Josh,
speak to them.
or
But either
Josh.
one's okay?
Kevin or Josh,
Okay.
and that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Committee chair reports, we'll start with, Councilman Trifle, safety, anything? All right, we'll stick with you on ordinance.
Cynthia Brown's been handled, so.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Brown, anything with the ordinance?
No, I'm just actually waiting to see when we're gonna reschedule the meeting we had planned. Other than that, I don't have anything.
All right, yeah, if we could have a meeting scheduled within the next, before the next council meeting, it will be appreciated, so we can discuss what the mayor just brought up and any additional items.
Absolutely. I'll look at my schedule and then I'll reach out to everybody on that committee and we'll come up with the date.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Code, Councilman Dash.
Nothing at this time.
We'll go to, school board, anything, Councilwoman Brown?
No, I have nothing for school board as well.
All right, for highway, Councilwoman Heist is not present, she did not forward anything, I'm not sure if anybody on the committee knows anything. Nothing. Jeff, Meg, anything?
I know there was a meeting here on Monday. Jody attended, I was unable to. I don't know if there's any update from that meeting.
Just our normal quarterly meeting, really. Nothing, I would say, out of the ordinary. Just kind of talked about normal claims and things like that. We scheduled the crossing guard training for after the next meeting in August.
That's everything.
Yeah. Oh, there was one of the police car. I don't know if you want to mention, but one of the police cars we think was totaled that was brought up and then that was
One of the
in the end.
officers hit a deer chasing a speeding vehicle. Did anybody see the deer? It's like right on 50 going towards the lake on the left-hand side. It was
I
bad.
did.
So,
Disgusting.
yeah, everybody's
I
in
didn't know
bad.
it was that.
Cars not in.
Cars can be replaced.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't believe the officer was.
No, it's fine.
We did do it. We did do call in because he did seek some sort of treatment, so.
Sure. That-
Report only, Joe.
That's all I can think of off the top of my head. So.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Timbers, Aaron Haffey.
Two things to report. As far as the cleanup, it was a success. Also, the Iron Head, they were awarded a $250 prize. Also, they celebrated one of their members who had retired. I believe his last name is Jamestown. And he's a long-time Egg Harbor City resident. Importantly, he was a great guy, and they wanted to celebrate him. He kept the records for the group for a very long time. And that's the report.
All right, we'll stick with you with land use.
Land use, we had a discussion again about the cannabis legislation. Also, a recommendation for council from land use. We looked at all 6 licenses. We voted on the licenses. The only stipulation was that if they were going to have area for them to be accessible and for retail, which is the most controversial license out there, we thought it would be acceptable to have a limit on those licenses to permit them to have one on Philadelphia Avenue, one on Route 3.
Carl,
was
do
just
they still have to be separate from the churches and schools and things like that? Because we
Uh,
might have a problem with that.
So what's going on now is that during this 180-day period, and the municipalities are deciding whether they're going to opt in or opt out, the Cannabis Regulatory Commission, that new entity that was formed, they have the same 180-day period to come up with their rules and regs. Right now, there's nothing in the legislation that would include it anywhere. We suspect that there may be distances from schools will be there, especially for growing and things like that. But we don't know, and we won't know until the rules and regs actually come out. But that should be shortly.
Because when Trockey was trying to have a road plan, Remember that Mason?
Yeah, yeah,
That was one of the only places out there
that was far enough away.
that he could have it. So I don't know, I guess everything's gonna change now.
Wrong way.
And Finance Commission.
Finance Commission, so when you're, I was very sick for the last couple of days.
Oh,
And, so for that, I'm gonna wait till the minutes, that I'll make a report the next week.
Thank you, sir. Utility, Councilman Wright?
No.
All right, I'll move to finance and redevelopment. So finance, yes, we are in negotiation with Teamsters. There were some emails going around today. There is a proposed dates and times to have a meeting next week. I would ask all those that have been emailed to kindly respond in a diligent manner so we can get that scheduled and have any concerns answered. Along with finance and redevelopment, NDG is a law firm representing Tom Gills with Tappan Direct. He would like to revisit the project. I also sent an email to the finance committee with dates and times. If you could respond to that in a diligent manner, so we can get that scheduled and requesting pretty much everybody involved be at that meeting. That is up to and including the finance committee, our city solicitor, our city planner, our city engineer, our redevelopment attorney, along with their attorney, their firm, and I'm also Mr. Gillis will be there too, I believe. So, and then that is what I have for finance and redevelopment. Property, parks, and playgrounds. Again, Councilwoman Heiss is not here, but I would like to address what we had spoke about last meeting that I sent an email around to everyone to review and consider. I'll touch on it briefly, and then Ryan, if you could, to do these projects, we'll talk about it more in depth and hopefully move to make a decision. So as I said, the email was sent around. Hopefully all of you have read it through and through to have an understanding of what the proposals were as far as selling the property, subdividing the properties, the cost savings, the profits from it. So when we get to Ryan, we'll talk more on that. So with that, that's all the committee reports.
Council President, I just want, did you get my email about, they would,
Yes, yeah, I did email you back.
okay. And regarding the tower site,
Energy, yeah.
that was another meeting, maybe we'll do them together.
Yeah, so again, in addition to the other meetings, Energyme is requesting that we meet with them, or Brian is requesting that we meet regarding Energyme. So Meg will be sending an email out tomorrow.
Well, I asked for before, I was just asking you what was good for you before I sent it out.
Yeah, so the email.
You did send me something.
Yeah, so she'll send an email out to you guys regarding that project moving forward. So anybody have any questions in regards to the committee reports? If not, moving forward, Director Emmer, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Your report, please.
For the time period of May 2nd to May 15th, the police department handled 2 fraud complaints, 8 thefts. They handled 6 motor vehicle accidents. They did 102 traffic stops. 33 of those traffic stops resulted in the issuance of 80 summonses. They arrested 2 individuals. They handled 6 business alarms, 3 residential alarms, 14 EMS incidents, 3 domestic incidents, 5 public service, and they conducted a number of property checks and crime prevention activity. As was stated, one of our officers was in a motor vehicle accident. He was pursuing a speeder, and when he got to the area just past Moss Mill Road and Philadelphia Avenue, a deer ran out in front of him and he struck the deer. The good news is the officer wasn't injured at all. Even the airbag didn't bother him. The deer didn't fare that well, and neither did the car. So we're good. We're down 1 car. We're going to have to look at that, and you know how that affects our ability to continue our operation. Other than that, everything's fine.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Director Emmer? Okay, moving forward. Jody, your CFO report, please.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
All right, I do have a question. Anything from Leon?
He asked, he actually just sent an email this morning that the state is trying to finalize, still trying to work, but they thought they were gonna have it. I guess the state's giving the local government services issues with how they wanna to do it, but he asked, to send what we're thinking. And then we can, I guess, try to figure out, if there's some way to adopt and then do it. So I'll talk with him next week and figure out what we can, hopefully, maybe we can at least do something at the next meeting. If not, he asked for everyone's, he sent it out to not just me, but their other municipalities that he works with, asking for what their meetings in June were. So I guess he's trying to kind of figure out, not keeping people too much longer without a budget, but at least maybe some way that we can put this money in. So I will, once I have a chance to talk to him a little bit more in detail, I'll forward any information.
Okay, would you suggest we tentatively schedule a budget workshop for the next meeting or no?
Well, let me see what I talk till next week, and then we could decide if we want to do it for them.
Okay,
So maybe tentatively.
okay. All right, is that everything?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Meg, city clerk report?
Yes, I just want to mention, as you know from the last meeting, we did have a COVID vaccine clinic here on May 17th. We actually had 30 people come out. I would say 95% were residents that were very grateful and thanked mayor and council for opening City Hall for it. So even the staff that worked it, the nurses, and I was going to take pictures, but I was a little concerned with HIPAA, whatever. But we did it 30 people, so they said that was a good turnout for the clinics now as they move on. I just want to let you know, I heard the mayor mention about Renault is going to be at the Food Truck Festival. I just want to let you know that good news, I don't know if it'll be done by then, but we did get a person-to-person transfer for Leatherheads, that somebody's interested in purchasing it. So I did get the application the other day. I forwarded it to the police department for the background check. So that's a good thing. Apparently it's someone who worked there in the past who's interested in reopening it. I've been in touch with Lisa Savage, has been in touch with me. We're trying to get through the process for the last couple weeks, but I did get the application. I forwarded it to the police department for what they need to do. So that's a good thing. So I don't necessarily know that it would be done by the Food Truck Festival, but they very well could be in business again by then because this man is anxious to open. So, and one question I want to ask Council President and Council, I've been getting with I don't understand the governor's lifting of things. I've heard many things today. Mass tomorrow, which I don't have on, sorry, I lost it, but about public meetings, I have public asking when they can return. And thank you. And also I have public saying they like the Zoom. So I have, through the Clerks Association, many towns have decided to do everything. Everything is a lot, as you know. We won't have to do this most likely, although it's probably a good thing because it's crowded up there with 9 and the mayor. So it's something to think about for the next meeting. If it is lifted, where do we begin letting people back? Mind you, I've been here for a long time, and there's a lot of people who've been here a long time, but we never had a full house unless it was something controversial or whatever. But it's just something, because people are asking when can they come back, And then actually, the one that called me today, I was like, you can come back, because I felt like if there was one in here, they wouldn't cause any problem, so. But
It should be allowed back.
But again, the Zoom thing too, some towns are continuing with that, and Jody has said to me that the filming of it has been better than the camera. We're putting it on our website. So it's something to consider how we want to move forward with the lifting of like tomorrow's the mask, right? That's what I understand. I heard remote, working
Unlimited
remotely
indoor,
is
no
being
more
lifted.
6 feet.
Hmm.
No more 6 feet, unlimited
Oh, really?
indoor, lift the mask. So.
2 feet is?
No.
Oh, I thought you said 2.
Oh, no, I was raising my hand.
Oh, okay. Anyway, but just some direction, because we do get residents that are asking, calling City Hall, how to move forward with coming in person. Some people like to come in person. I think a lot.
Government buildings, you still have
Well,
to wear a
government
mask
is cool, yeah.
in school.
No, I understand that, but I'm just asking
No
about,
social
I think they're allowed to attend the meetings, even with a mask, so. How we move forward.
Yeah, the caveat to all that is, the governor has, put a little caveat in there for the municipalities. It's ultimately up to us.
Right.
Okay, to make this decision.
Right.
Okay. In other places, they decided to keep the policies that they had in place for as such. I mean, you know, I know I wouldn't mind, you know, having some of the public in as well, but, you know, I think, you know, I think we should still maintain caution, you know, when we do this as well.
No, I agree.
But, you know.
But as you
we
know,
have
I
to
mean, you've
figure
been
out-
here, we never get tremendous amount. University, we do, and we've even made steps and moved to Teamsters Hall when we knew
Yeah.
that we needed to, you know. But there are people, we can go, I mean, the Zoom, I think we get more participation through this remote and Zoom. But there are those that probably like to come in person, and we do.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying. So if we continue both, I mean, number one, you know, we haven't recorded, people like to, you know, look on the website.
But if a resident called us and said, can I come in
Yeah, that's what
person?
I'm saying, let them do both.
Would you be okay with that? And we could kind of monitor, I mean, if we got bombarded with people coming, of course, we'd have to make an adjustment. But most like, I mean, you've been here, many of you's been here many years, so you know, we don't get a full house unless there's a problem or someone's getting an award or, you know.
And at this point, we can have a full house.
Right.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think, so we're as accessible as possible. I would like to say is open it back up to the public and continue with the Zoom.
Right.
If it's something we can do.
I think
Zoom-
it's up to you guys, that's why
Yeah.
I understand that they leave it up to the municipality, that's what I'm asking.
I make a motion that we,
So I'm in full agreement, but I would like Angela to speak on it before we move forward with any kind of motion, and get her insight.
So, I agree with all of you.
I'm sorry I didn't ask you earlier.
I agree with all of you that access to the public is paramount. So, I hear, like Meg hears, that a lot of people like to Zoom, and Councilwoman Brown is on Zoom, and so we have to take her into consideration. And so I suggest that we allow the public in. If it becomes a problem, we'll see at the next meeting or the meeting after that, or even July, if you like. If it becomes a problem where we have more than 10 people, more than 20 people, then we may consider going back to Zoom. But I say we open it up to the public and allow the Zoom for anyone who wants to participate via Zoom. And that would include any of us that are either on vacation or can't make it or whatever. It allows us to participate as well.
Like what Meg was saying, like most of the time we get crowded when the mayor gives out an award or something, you can just do it by family. So it's have one family coming out.
That's what we, that's kind of what we did, you know?
Yeah, no, and just keep it that way.
And is there any reason to limit how many people are in here?
Not really, unless we see it as a problem.
Okay.
So
We
That's
have
up to
a
our
crowd of
discretion.
people.
Right.
So we have a crowd of people, I would say a crowd maybe 25 or over, to me, that's a crowd of people. We may, where we have an issue coming up that we know we're gonna have a lot of public participation, and we may wanna limit them, but otherwise, I would invite the public to come back.
So we can put the room back to the way it was, everything, or do you like it like this?
I don't like it like this.
Yeah, I say we go back to normal.
Oh, you can
I
spread
think
the
the-
chairs out further.
Go back.
I think the residents own this building.
Yeah.
And, they should have access to it.
No, I'm saying about the way the room's set up, 'cause
I
right
think we
now.
should set it all back up
I think it should
that.
be the way it was.
Okay.
anyway.
No, we would be grateful, because this is like,
Yeah.
One other thing I wanna add is, feel free to wear your mask, if you're comfortable
Right.
wearing your mask, please wear it. If you don't wanna wear it, you're fully vaccinated.
Well, we do have to wear a mask inside of here, don't we? Am I read it correctly?
I think you mean government.
I thought government and school, you had to have a mask.
No, that's
No, it's,
It's policy.
it's.
Oh,
So
okay.
they will set the policy for
I got you.
employees, guests.
I got you. I got you.
I think that was only for what, education and healthcare.
So I guess
So
my
I think-
next question is, what is the policy from city
I think
council?
we should take,
In the building.
so if you've been vaccinated,
Or not.
the mask is optional. If you have not been vaccinated, we would ask that you continue to wear your mask.
Upon request, just like that should be our policy, that it,
But I think it's.
Well,
it's
that's-
an honor
Now you're
system.
trying to see who got.
I think it's an
vaccinated.
honor system.
You gotta ask
I
all.
think it's an honor system.
No, I think that would impede on their personal privacy,
Right,
so like I say, if you're comfortable wearing your mask, please do.
I will leave it up to
If
their
you don't
judgment.
think you need a mask, don't wear a mask.
not to lead into another problem, but we're about to open the senior center. And I have signs that say you must wear a mask and such as, so I don't have to put those up. Like, we've been closed through COVID, so we're about to
Yeah.
open.
It's completely up to you.
Huh?
It's up to, I guess.
So city attorney, I don't, so we should not put those signs up saying you have to wear a
I don't
mask.
think you need to wear. to put them on.
Okay, I'm grateful. No, I'm not grateful, I'm just saying.
If we're worried about it, you could post wear your mask at leisure.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines, not mask are required. or anything like
These are
that.
signs that we had ordered that kind of say wear a mask and practice 6. I think they're hanging on the doors here, same kind of thing. But we've been closed, like our nutrition center, the seniors use it, AA, the quilters, like certain groups use it. And we've been closed, so we've given a date of June 1st and trying to get it ready, like we're having it clean next week, or we're trying to get ready for June 1st, which is coming on very quick. But I did ask, prior to the governor saying this, we had the signs and we were gonna post them. But I haven't, so now when you're saying, like, I guess I shouldn't post them.
I don't think you
Put
need
'em-
signs anymore.
Put them in storage and hopefully. never keep them.
Okay, we don't have them. Okay, good.
So moving forward with this topic, do we have a policy in place already?
There is a policy, yes,
So that will have to be revisited.
right,
I agree with it.
as of tomorrow.
Or start Tuesday.
Well, yeah.
So that will have to be revisited, amended, whatever the case is. As far as the other discussion at hand, if everyone's in agreement with how we want to move forward, somebody wants to put a motion towards it?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
I'll second.
And the motion was to open back up to the
Yeah.
public. And keep Zoom,
Yep.
keep and remote call.
And yes, if you could move the room back to its normal position, that would be appreciated.
And these chairs aren't light.
I know.
All right, so moving forward, Angela, since you're here, you're up.
So I was able to negotiate with the crops folks, the community garden agreement and the liability form. So now that the city's protected, hopefully they'll sign the form the next few days, and in a couple of weeks, they'll start the gardening process, which I think will be very good for the town. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Mr. McGowan,
How we doing?
your floor.
Okay. Let's see. We submitted the local recreation grant application the other day. That was for essentially sewer and electrical upgrades down at the campground. The urban parks grant is due July 15th. We enjoy your just reviewing the requirements of that. So, I think it's June. I gotta take that one. Pretty sure it's June. So that's that one. As Mr. Timbers alluded to, we had a discussion, the cannabis, continuation of the cannabis discussion for land use board. Ultimately, the board recommended that we accept the 5 uses that are recommended for industrial zones: cultivation, manufacturing, wholesale, distribution, and delivery. And then recommended that we allow 1 retail facility in the retail commercial zone, which would be generally Philadelphia Avenue, and 1 in the highway commercial zone, which is generally Route 30. So that's the recommendation back to city council. There was some discussion about other regulations for hours of operation, things like that. And there was interest in continuing that discussion. I said, well, let's get a recommendation back to city council now as to the number and location. So that way you guys can start formulating an ordinance, and then if they want to add, further input, they can do that at the next meeting and send that back to council for further consideration. So those are recommendations for now. For New Orleans Avenue, for the post subdivision, we gave you guys a proposal to do a minor subdivision. Right now, there are 4 lots which are sort of unequally distributed across some buildable area that fronts New Orleans Avenue between District Street and Deer Street. As it sits now, you could sell 2 lots that are there that cover the majority of the developable area. You would have an oversized corner lot at the corner of D. Stewart and New Orleans, and then another lot which fits between a 65 or so foot wide buildable area, closer to Deer Street, a little bit off the corner. So in between, there's 2 pockets of wetlands. That's shown on the map that we've provided. So if you decided to subdivide, you'd be able to cut that corner property into 3 properties. Into 2 properties, and then the third would still exist farther down the property. That would give you the ability to sell 3 lots. They would still each be 100 feet wide, so they're good size lots. The only thought with that is that if you do that, it will take some time. We'll need Pineland's approval As to the county, it's things that take time. So we figure it'd be 6 to 9 months. If the state agency review goes quickly, and given everything we've seen lately, probably closer to 12 months before they'd be ready to go out for sale. So that's really, for your guys' consideration, whether you want to put the existing lots up for auction now, or go through the subdivision process and have an additional lot on which you could sell. And somebody
How
could
big
buy
were
a
those?
house.
Must be 100 by 150 or 100 by 100?
They're 150 deep. You would have 200-foot lots, 100-foot wide, 150 deep, facing New Orleans at the corner of Easterways. And then there's a little pocket of wetlands, and then there'd be another lot. I mean, that lot would be much wider, it'd be 300 or so feet wide, but the buildable area is only about 65 feet.
Gotcha.
So that is if you do the subdivision. And
Right.
again, those are still good sized lots.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If
Especially
you,
when they go.
yeah, exactly. So if you don't subdivide, you'll end up with an almost 200-foot wide corner lot. Yeah, 200 feet wide, 150 foot deep. So if you're going to sell now, that's what you'd be selling, which is
Right.
you
Yeah, that's
really oversized.
Right.
But so again, you lose a buildable lot, you save some time. That's totally up to you guys on how you want to approach that.
So, how's everybody feel about this? We'll open up for discussion.
I said myself, I think we'll move it back to by subdivision.
Are there costs associated with doing the subdivision?
Yeah, so our proposal for the subdivision was 19,000. I believe that George Frick provided an estimate for the sale of the properties. There was a net additional income. Essentially, each lot would sell for more than 19,000. So by adding an additional lot, you would more than recover the cost of the subdivision.
Right.
Mhm.
Quick question. These are in the industrial.
No, these are in the R9 zone, I believe. They're directly across from the community school. We paved a stretch of New Orleans Avenue from D Street to Deer Street. That's sort of the southeastern boundary of the school property. And there's no houses on it. Yeah,
These are residential.
yeah, this would be subdivision for residential. Yeah, it'd be three single family residential properties.
So the only concern is that we have to wait a year until 2022.
Pretty much.
You might be waiting a year to sell that big behind property anyway. Especially in that growth.
Is there a potential buyer?
I mean,
One thing is if there's not, if someone's waiting in the wings, if they're not, then there's no real concern that we have to, like, don't subdivide and hey, let's just sell.
yeah, I'm not going to pretend I'm my finger on the pulse of the real estate market. But,
Right.
I don't know how well your auctions have been doing. I would use that as a barometer.
Are you saying that so if the cost for the subdivision is 19,000?
Mhm.
Are essentially we selling 2 of those lots, and the third lot that we sell is covering the cost to do the subdivision?
Yeah, it would more than cover that, right? So if you sold the 2 lots now, I think he estimated like 45 to 50,000, and then 3 lots were in like the $75,000 range. So essentially, by adding another lot, you're going to pick up another 20 to 25,000, which would pay for the subdivision, plus a couple dollars, and then you'd have that third rateable that you'd be adding another
Oh,
to.
okay. All right, I got you.
So that's really the
So
long term.
so the rateable is really what we're getting.
Right, you're able to squeeze another house into there.
That makes sense.
It's not squeeze 100-foot lot, but you're able to cut that property into another buildable lot. That's the real big benefit.
Well, most likely if we're going, like with the business that I do, we're buying the land. We're building a house. You know what I mean?
So the last 2 properties that sold vacant lots for Boston Avenue, Philadelphia, both went for approximately $20,000, I believe, both to residential builders. Again, so the math with this proposal is we spend $19,000 to subdivide 2 oversized lots into 3 lots. And possibly wait anywhere from 9 months to 12 to 15 months until the subdivision is complete to put them to auction. And then in return, get anywhere from $25,000 to $33,000 per lot plus the taxes, which is the fair market value. Now, keep in mind, the market's very hot right now. We don't know where it'll be 9 to 15 months from now. On the flip side is we saved $19,000 that would cost to subdivide, sell 2 oversized lots for anywhere from $25,000 to $33,000, profit that money, and only get 2 rateables.
So in the long run, doing it that way, you're gonna lose rateables down a lot.
Plus, somebody buys the property, they can sit on it and not do anything with it.
That's
Well,
true.
we could do it with other things too. Just to interrupt, just to explain how we would have to handle that. Unfortunately, like a revenue that would later offset, it's two separate things, so we would have to budget that 19,000 somehow, so. I'm not saying we shouldn't, I'm just saying that we will need to figure out how we're gonna put that 19,000 in. For argument's sake, without having a revenue to offset it at this time. I mean, I understand in the future it will, I'm not debating that. I'm just-
What about capital improvements? We've done that before.
Not for like a subdivision. I did talk to Carol just to make sure I wasn't thinking of it wrong. We're not doing any work on the property or anything like that. It's just really an operating cost to do something.
Council President, I don't think we should quickly rush into this. I think we should find out all the information from, George Frick, the CFO, and the engineer. I don't want to make a decision today, because that is, information we really must know before we make a decision.
Okay, what information? Because George has done the fair market analysis.
Okay, yes.
It was in the email I attached. Brian's done his side.
And
As far as
well,
cost and subdivision and time.
and also, with the CFO.
That's the only,
That's what I'm saying.
I got a question on that though. If we sold that third lot, could we use that money from the third lot to pay for subdivide the other ones?
Well, I think what Jody's saying is that is a future revenue that you could not project in the current budget. So if you want to pay for it now, you got to find a way to pay for it now. And then,
Well, I'm saying if we sold that one lot that's by itself, could we use that money to use towards?
oh, I see what you're
subdividing?
saying. If you sell the one that's in the wetland area, that it won't really impact.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, I have to check the boundary to make sure it didn't extend so far that it would interfere with the other two, but assuming that it does not, then yeah, that would be fine.
You would also have to have a contract, like it would have to be
That'd be part of the law.
basically,
Okay.
for the state to allow you to put it. We couldn't just like have it for sale and then put it. But it's all set.
again, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, whoever wants to make a motion or move forward, it's totally up to you. I think all the information's out there right now. The email was sent, I believe, last week.
Yeah, right. I'm making a motion to subdivide.
Do we want to wait until we adopt the budget till we have them?
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the CFO's report.
So, I just wanted to bring it to attention, for discussion.
You could do a straw vote. Yeah, couldn't you?
Yeah, so then we know like when we're amending, if we're gonna amend the budget, that we want to try to put that in somehow.
All right, so moving forward, who is in favor of the subdivision and the cost of $19,000 to do so?
Is this the straw, this is the straw?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, pending with the CFO, tells us and everything else, I think it would be good.
Yeah, everybody?
And this
Makia.
year.
To Councilwoman Brown, did you vote? Can't see your hand.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you were saying.
We're taking a straw vote. Anyone in favor of the subdivision spending the $19,000 to take 2 lots, make them into 3?
Yes, I'm in favor of the subdivision.
Okay.
That was all.
All right, so we'll table it for future conversation to find funding. Everyone agrees?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for your time on that, everyone.
Mr. President, I have a question for Ryan. Sure. Now, we were talking about the marijuana stuff and on Philadelphia and Route 30. If we, because I know there's stipulations and everything else, if we define those 2 areas, are we locked into that, or can we revisit that at a different time? So just say, someplace offers a good place, down by, Clark's Landing Road, just saying.
So, yeah, well, one of the things that we did discuss at the land use board was the recommendation that city council consider cannabis facilities in redevelopment plans going forward. Because somewhere like, we're already doing something at the tower site, but somewhere like that might be a property that would be appropriate. There are other properties that we have discussed throughout town that may be appropriate for any number of these types of facilities. So that was one of the things that was discussed, was that city council consider cannabis facilities through redevelopment plans. Because the redevelopment plan doesn't require it to be zoned for that, for anything, no matter what you're trying to put there. So, realizing that some properties are sort of unique and that the zoning that's there is just sort of there because it's what's, whatever's adjacent to it, it just sort of went with that. So, consideration for redevelopment plans was another option for avenue.
Thank you, Ryan.
Sure.
I have something as well.
Sure.
You mentioned that timing. So whatever the city decides to do with reference to retail now, we're stuck with for 5 years. Can't change it. You can't go back and say, oh, we made a mistake. We have to live with it and it'll be grandfathered in. After 5 years, if you want to do something different, then you're able to do that.
Yeah, my understanding is you could lift restrictions, but you could not add any more for the first 5 years.
Gotcha.
Thank you. So Ryan, if you could send those recommendations to the finance committee for review, and then we'll set up a meeting to review, because I believe by August 27th, we have to have the decision in for the state. 21st.
There you go. Yeah, I believe that Leo Manos directed a resolution, and council, or I'm sorry, the land use board at its meeting did authorize the board chair to sign the resolution prior to the next meeting, so that you guys can have it formally as soon as possible.
Okay.
I'll make sure you guys get a copy of that.
Thank you, sir. Anything else?
Just the last couple of things are Chicago Avenue, still no update. Atlantic Avenue, no update. And then the tennis courts, I've yet to get a call back. I've tried to reach out to him twice now. So I'll let you know when I hear something.
Where are we with the solar?
We were trying to get a draft agreement so that you guys could vote on that. I still don't have one in hand. I actually reached out to a couple different parties. Talked to Angela, was trying to get her a draft so you're not starting from scratch. So I mean, in theory, we want to move forward with them and try to get them to start the interconnection application. We don't have a form of an agreement at this time. So, I mean, if you guys want to, authorize them to submit an interconnect application, I think that would probably be a good move, because that will allow us to lock in the TREC program before that expires, which is anticipated happening in June. And that way we can continue to work through the agreement. The interconnection doesn't tie it to anything, but they could at least submit it on your behalf.
All right. I have a motion to apply for the draft of the.
I make a motion that we second.
Yeah, it'd be the motion to authorize National Energy Partners to submit an interconnection application for a solar facility at the Transit Hub parking lot on behalf of the city.
Councilman Trifo, made by motion, Councilman Gray, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One other thing,
Mhm.
Megan, I got an email from the people that were looking for the transportation.
Yeah,
Do you have anything on that?
I just got something this afternoon from Barbara Lazara, New Jersey Transit. Yeah, they asked for authorization to reach out to Brian Morgan. I assume she meant me. So, presuming you're okay with them reaching out to me, I'll let her know that that's okay with city council.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll reach out to her and start, trying to move that effort along.
Sounds good.
And that's it for me, unless somebody has any questions.
Yes,
Like
I
Megan.
have no question for Ryan, but back to me for a minute, because somebody texted me, an employee here, an employee for the city. Back to the COVID question about City Hall, I'm sorry to dwell on it, but things are changing as of tomorrow.
Understood.
We do spray the building at 3:30 every day. We close, employees leave, and an employee from Public Works comes in and sprays the building. So some direction moving forward, do we continue this? It is overtime for the Public Works employee. Just some direction if we want to continue this. I know through my Clerks Association, most towns are continuing to clean the buildings. They do a little more, some of them do more than we do. We close at 3:30, everybody tries to get out, we try to get out by 3:30, some of us can't, but an employee does come from Public Works, mind you, he is on overtime, so it is costing the city some kind of money. So that was the question from the employees, I guess, do we continue doing this?
What would you suggest?
I would say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I want to do it,
I mean,
at least for now.
I was gonna say, the amount that we're paying the employee on overtime.
I would say, I think it's an hour, I don't even know if it's an hour.
I don't know, what I'm saying is,
No,
it's
no,
the
I
minimal
know,
amount.
I know, I
that
don't know what it is.
I don't think an hour, it might be a half hour or something, I think.
Yeah, I would.
The minimal amount that we're paying for overtime, can clean it, gives protection to the public and.
And I will say, those employees who are leaving at 3:30, come in a half hour earlier, come in, we have to make up for the time because there's work to do. So nobody's like getting out at 3:30. I mean, the only thing with the public, we work with them, like I was selling beach badges at home because they couldn't make it here. So today I had like 3 people stop my house to buy beach badges, but
Is it still the bioglass for being used?
yes.
Okay, so, our facility, uses that as well. I think it's important to continue it, and not really just for the COVID. It is protection for a host of,
Everything else.
of diseases that could be transmitted by the public.
That's what I'm saying, like, I've seen clerks' emails going around, what do people do? They go additionally wipe down doorknobs, they do, our guy comes in, and we don't stay for it, but he sprays.
Yeah.
But they need to do further cleaning. But this was just a question that, I'll say Keith Adams, he texted me and asked me, do we continue this?
I think, I would say yes.
Everyone's in agreement that it's going to continue. All right. Anybody else have anything for Ryan? Now, moving on to number 13. So we have ordinance number 6, 2021. It's the capital ordinance of Egg Harbor City, in the county of Atlantic State, state of New Jersey, authorizing construction of a pole barn and appropriate the sum of $30,000 to pay for the cost thereof, which is funded by the General Capital Improvement Fund. May I have a motion to open it up for a public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All right, it's now open to the public with any comments, questions, or concerns regarding ordinance number 6, 2021.
Jody, have you released them?
I'm sorry.
Can they comment?
Oh,
That's what.
I mean, people have to unmute themselves if they want to comment. I can't unmute anybody.
All right.
To make the name announcement.
I'll make a motion to close it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on to the adopting ordinance number 6, 2021. I have a motion. Second, please.
We have discussion? We have discussion?
You want discussion? Sure.
Is it 30,000 or is it 40,000?
It is actually 39,856. The additional 9,856 is coming from the utility fund, which should be looked into, and it can be appropriated from that due to the sale of the water treatment facility.
Okay. So for clarity, the total for the purchase.
Yeah, well, that's the next
the
resolution for the actual purchase. This is just putting funding in place for 30,
Yeah.
so 30,000 will come
30,000 is
from.
Do we
coming
have to
from
do another
capital.
motion, thing for the additional line for the utility, or is that?
No, we won't need to do
Okay,
anything.
okay.
That's an existing
Thank you.
ordinance, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
My apologies for that. All right, so back to adopting the ordinance. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark? Yes. Dash,
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trifal,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. All right, may I have a motion to advertise the notice of adoption in the Hamilton Gazette on June 2nd, 2021?
So moved. Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
moving on to resolution. Number 14, resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for construction of a pole barn. Pioneer Pole Buildings Incorporated has submitted a proposal indicating they will provide services at a rate of $39,856. Council of the City of Egg Harbor authorizes the mayor to enter into a contract with Pioneer Pole Buildings Incorporated as described herein. So I just want to add to this. So yes, the initial proposal that Keith received from this one company, which he had actually reached out to several, this was the only one to get back, was $30,000. As we've all seen, there's been inflation with lumber price, materials, labor, so on and so forth. So since he got the quote until now, that is why the price has gone up $9,856 for any of those that any of you that had questions. I did have a conversation with Keith regarding this. If there's other options, I did forward another company. That company was approximately 6 to 7 months out. This building needs to be erected by no later than October due to the sale being November 1st. We discussed pods. The pods are not big enough to store the equipment that are needed. Cost savings would only have been a couple $1,000. So every option was explored to get this pole barn erected in time for the sale and the move of the equipment and supplies. This pole barn will be erected, I believe he said, by late August, early September.
If I could just interject, also another reason that the price looks like it went up so much is that we realized the original quote was not prevailing wages because we are a public, it's considered public work for the municipality and it's over the thresholds of around 16,000 something for 2021. So we had to get a revised quote for prevailing wages. So that also was, I think, a reason for the significant increase. I don't think it was all building materials. So just wanted to make that, you know, explain that.
Basically,
Right, so.
If nobody has any questions, comments, or concerns, may I have a motion to authorize the award?
Make a motion. Second.
Second, roll call, please.
Brown? Brown?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Sefton?
Yes.
Timbers?
Yes.
Trithol?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Moving on to 15, resolution, amending the salary resolution of 2021. This is for the personnel salaries at the lake. Jody, is there anything more you want to add to that, or it is what it is?
We kind of,
Just that the
we kind of-
minimum wage went up and everybody has to go up with minimum wage because the badge checkers now start at $12 an hour and the lifeguards require a $250 certification, so I can't in good faith pay them $12 an hour, the same as badge checker who has no certifications. So everything has to be raised accordingly. It's been happening how many years now? 3 years?
yeah, I think we normally, since we kind of do the salary resolution at the beginning of the year, and we're not really sure. So usually we wind up needing to amend the salaries during the year.
Make a motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown?
Yes.
Clark? Yes. Dash?
Yes.
Sefton?
Yes.
Timbers?
Yes.
Trithol?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Number 16, resolution, designate May as Bag Up Month. So this is the comprehensive Bag Up New Jersey campaign. Will include educational programs, public and media engagement, and reusable bag distribution programs throughout the state with an emphasis on underserved communities. The statewide public education campaign will provide residents, businesses, and visitors with information about the types of reusable and sustainable bags and containers that they may use and where to access these products. If nobody has any questions or comments regarding this, may I have a motion to designate May and Egg Harbor City as Bag Up Month?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to 17, the renewal of the following liquor license, July 1st, 2021 through June 20th, 2022. This is an annual annual thing the municipality does for renewal of licenses, plenary retail consumption. As you see the list, regarding Hattie's Bar and Grill, Renault, FBS, Jodas Beverage, NAFA Incorporated, Narrowland Shear, and Roshman.
And they'll be, this is the time of year, so the next meeting and the next one, they have to be renewed by the end of June, so the next 2 meetings, we may have a few more.
Yeah, we still open.
Yep.
Yeah. I make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, 18, resolution to authorize application for the 2021 NJUCF Stewardship Grant. The governing body of the city of Egg Harbor desires to further the public interest by obtaining a grant from the state of New Jersey in the amount of approximately $30,000 to fund the following project: tree replacement project program. The Common Council of the City of Egg Harbor authorizes and hereby agrees to match 25% of the total project amount in compliance with the match requirements of the agreement. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jody, but this was the information we spoke about last meeting that you had forwarded to us, correct?
Yes, yes. So I had put a tentative amount in that resolution. I don't know, that was the amount of our last grant. I think the match back then was a little bit different. So I just wanted to check, what, if anybody had thought of what they wanna put at, like I said, it won't be until next year's budget, most likely, the match, but it still will need to go in at some point, so, it's 25% of the grant, so, I don't know if council has an idea of how much they want to apply for and would be willing to match, but it needs to, I believe, be in the resolution since we're approving that we would match the funds.
Anybody have any comment or insight on this?
You said 25% we match?
How much is in kind, Judy?
I believe it's a cash match.
Any suggestions? Or would we like to leave it at 30,000?
That would be a 7,500 cash match, just so.
Everybody in agreement, we'll keep it at 30,000?
I was thinking 15.
All right, we got 15,000 for it.
We can do a lot for that, and it's less of a, pay to get to do. Because who knows what's gonna happen next year.
Judy, what's your opinion on the funding for that 25%?
What do I think our chances of getting funding are?
No, for us for the 25%. That has to be put into the budget, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what next year's budget's gonna look like, so I mean. I was kind of thinking maybe try to keep it like 5 or less, but I don't know that it's drastically different. I mean, and I don't know if you're allowed to, if you're awarded a certain amount, can you ask, can you say we'd only need, I honestly don't know enough about the grant to see if you could apply for less, if you could accept less, if you only wanted to match less.
I'm okay with Scott's, being 15.
I mean, it kind of, to just put it in perspective, I don't know how those prices are the same. We did, with the last grant, it was 30,000 and we planted about 100 trees. So I don't know if that would, I don't know if that would be equivalent, and it's a different type of project. I know we were thinking of maybe, or at least the green team's suggestion, if council is okay with that, was to replace some of the trees on some of the streets where the trees had been removed. I don't know if you have any comments or thoughts or anything on how that.
Well, the last time we got the grant was what, 3 years ago now?
Mhm.
So I mean, it's not an annual thing that you're applying for and receiving. I mean, it's completely up to you guys. It's,
Like I said, I'm fine with the 30,000. I would like to see 100 trees.
And you know what else? We do need some trees on Philadelphia Avenue because we're missing a few ginkgos and some of them are dead. So if it's in the NPP zone, you could possibly use NPP funding to
As a match.
subsidize the
Okay,
match.
that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay.
So anything from the 100 block to the 400 block is, you can do.
Okay, so do we want to leave it at 30 then? And
So,
Since we have $2 amounts on the table,
I was saying like 15,000. We can get, if we can, get up to, Phil, and maybe like what the mayor was saying, then I'm all in favor of 30,000, offset the costs.
yeah, and don't forget, we're just applying at this point. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, anything could happen, between now and then. And there could be, we could maybe come up with some other alternate sources of funds for a match.
all right, so moving forward, may I have a motion to move forward with the $30,000 grant application?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark. Yes. Dash.
Yes.
Sefton.
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Tricol.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. Bill list. Any questions or comments on the bill list? If not, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark. Yes. Dash.
Yes.
Sefton.
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Tricol.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. All right, I'd like to turn it back over to the mayor for any final comments.
I would like to thank Meg and Jackie and the other employees at City Hall who worked so very hard to get that vaccine clinic going. Meg, I know you put a lot of time and effort into that. Thank you very much.
It's not easy.
And I think, do they have to come back again, Meg?
They did get dates to come back and they may do it here. We still haven't heard yet. The head nurse that was on said they'll get back to us, I think, by
Was it
next week.
Nancy?
His name was
Or
Rex. His name was Rex, yeah.
If you want, I can reach out to Nancy.
Most of the people got the J&J,
Oh, that's only a single shot.
yeah, so, but there were a few that had the,
Yeah.
and apparently the nurses really liked it here because we were really nice, so we're thinking they might want to do it. Well, we had water and lollipops, but. We did put it, I should have taken pictures, then I got concerned with COVID. I'm not COVID, with HIPAA, and if I had any of the patients in the picture. But we did actually, there was a, I know I'm talking too much, but there was a tent that was delivered to City Hall for a project a while ago that was never used. So the tent, one of them tents, what do you call them?
It's the standard.
Yeah, it's like a pop-up tent. So it's been back in the back, so I'm like, let's put it up here, because we were anticipating, we were preparing for a lot, but we didn't know we were gonna get, we could have got one or two, but we did get people. So we put cones out and we put the tent up there, had chairs and water and stuff, so apparently we went over and beyond with numbers too, so I they may wanna come back here, which we're fine with, it was good. We had, everybody was nice.
Great job.
At 30 people, they said that was a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And then the last thing is, everybody who is planning on visiting the Egg Harbor City Lake this year, the badges go up on Tuesday. So the lake badges will be available at City Hall tomorrow and at the lake all weekend, weather permitting. Doesn't look like such a good day for Saturday, but Sunday and Monday seem to be doing better, they look a little better. And I guess I should have mentioned this earlier, we do have this new stand manager this year, and it's called Kathy's Kitchen. It's stand food and Puerto Rican food, and she has it fixed up very nicely. The pictures are on Facebook if anybody wants to see it, but please go in and give it a try and support her business out there. She is one of the people that would like to ultimately be in a brick and mortar building somewhere in Egg Harbor City, preferably on Philadelphia Avenue. So go out and try our food. We've also renovated the golf course this year. Freddie Metz did a fantastic job on that golf course. It looks absolutely brand new and beautiful. And the Giraffe now has 2 years again. And that's all I have. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. Thank you to everyone who serves in the military. And please come out and support our vets and honor those who died in the wars that we had. And, think about putting a wreath up too. That's 11 o'clock on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sutton.
I just want to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday, and thank you very much to the vets for all they've done.
Councilwoman Brown.
I would like to wish everyone a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend. And thanks to everybody for all the work they've been putting in, especially the girls in the office, because I know you guys don't get told enough, but without you girls, we wouldn't be able to function. So, you know, I don't think you guys hear it enough, but you guys do a lot of work in there. And I definitely appreciate you guys.
Councilman Dash.
I'd like to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day, and thanks to our vets, those that are serving, those that have served, and those that have given the final sacrifice.
Councilman Chapman.
Let's not forget why we have this, day off, and we can enjoy the barbecue for the sacrifices that were given. Also, to Megan and Jackie, it's not easy running these vaccination clinics, is it? Thank you for a good job. The more people we get, I think yesterday we had 0 new cases, if I'm not mistaken. It's working, okay? So, I'd like to thank everybody for that, and be safe and, be healthy. And thank you, sir.
Councilman Simmons.
Just want to say happy Memorial Day, everybody. No, I'm looking forward to it.
Councilman Wright?
I just wanted to say, I hope everybody has a happy holiday. Of course, I'll be working anyway. Another thing, just want to let everybody know that the Satyrs football and cheer started signups last Tuesday. We'll be doing signups every Tuesday at 6 o'clock and every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Also, I don't know if Keith is on. Is Keith on? Keith.
Keith, you was on. Is he on, Jay?
Yes.
He's there.
Hey, Keith.
Hey,
I just want to thank you and the guys, man. You guys are doing a heck of a job out there with the Satyrs field, cutting the grass and everything. It looks beautiful. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. The only thing I do ask is if we can cut it up just a little higher for now, at least until it starts to get a little cooler, because that field burns up like a son of a gun if we cut it too short.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah,
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, oh man, great. I mean, everybody, I can't get enough compliments out there how it is. So yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. I just asked one question, how long does it take?
It takes us about 5.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's with picking up trash and everything else, you know.
Yeah,
ahead
we
of
gotta
time.
do our best. We lost Brother John, so.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
No, he's stepped down. He's got 2 bad hips. He's got one. Actually, he goes to surgery this week for his hip to get replaced. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a shame, how much he does down there. You don't really appreciate it until you don't have it. So, but we try our best, and I try to get on the kids right, Keith, and I apologize for that. But other than that, I'm greatly appreciative of it.
Can I cut
Thank
in
you.
one time? Keith, thank you for the flags too. See, Philadelphia Avenue looks absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you
I
guys.
know how busy you are and you squeeze that in and it's really, it just looks so nice up there. Thank you.
Got it.
Councilman Ritchie, I'm sorry to butt in again, but while Keith's on, we've been working on Peace Pilgrim to try to open it. If you'll take note, we did order some signs to, at the last meeting, remember we mentioned about getting it back open, so we did order some signs, so if you guys wanna take a look, it kind of says Peace Pilgrim is not a dog park, your dog must be on a leash, pick up after, some more signs that are visible. They're there anyway, but I guess people don't see them, and we've made a couple changes in there. Keith and I met out there and discussed what, we figured opening it, we'd have to see an impact, like something changed, so people would start respecting the rules of the park. So we're curious to see, I don't know, Keith, we were anticipating opening it again tomorrow and chaining the gates open. Keith told me yesterday or today, I forget what it was, we bought some chain. Jackie and I went out and put the signs out this afternoon. So that's where we're at. So I think Keith wanted to mention it, so that's why while he was on, I wanted to bring it up. Right, Keith?
Yes. Yep. I do want to talk about it. I know that we got in there, we got a lot of the stuff that was kind of being addressed done. I know Candace and her crew kind of touched up on the flower beds. I know the work has continued on the pavilion there, which looks good. We got trash cans kind of placed. We added a trash can. We moved one table by mistake, which was a handicap table. We put it back where it belongs. I know we added a trash can down on the other side to try to get people to go down in and go to the other side away from the flower gardens. And yeah, so I do think now with the proper signage, we can chain the gates open so it can be opened up at this point and then ride it out and see how it goes.
We did order another dog, just, I don't know what they call them. What do they call dog?
Yes. Yeah, we ordered another for the bags.
Other side of the park to encourage, like, we're trying to draw the public who are there, because from what we understand, everybody gathers by the gates and lets their dogs run. So we were thinking if we draw people to the other side, we'll see and have like benches, we can move some benches and tables over there so that people gather there and can, mind you, it says your dog must be on a leash, but see what their dogs are doing, and if they see them going to the bathroom, they can pick it up, and there's a closer container. So Jody did order another container, it just hasn't come in yet, so that would be probably the final thing that is gonna go up in there.
Are there waste bag dispenser?
Yes, there's always been that. That's right when you walk in the first gate. We did suggest that, or we thought removing a piece of fence would help because people wouldn't be so secure to let the dog run. I guess that's something we can look in the future. I know the mayor shaking her head no, but
Fix that fence.
I
Not
actually,
ruin it.
the next thing is to have signs, no pets allowed, if it continues this way, you know, but hopefully everybody, if you take a look, we did get signs, like I said, Jackie and I put them out there today. We'll see how it goes.
If you need,
One is handmade.
if you need additional supplies for the dog waste dispensers, you just let me know.
Okay, well, yes, that would be
We'll
great.
happy to-
Yes, but Jody did order, I don't know when the next one comes in, but I don't know. Keith said he'll put it up as soon as it comes in.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
And we can always use additional supplies because we don't have the most honest people using the supplies that are out there. So when we restock, they go very fast.
So are you using rolls or are you using individuals?
They're rolls.
That's why you're using so many.
Okay.
So I'll touch base with you. Because there's ones that are individuals, so you have to sit there and pull them. The roll ones, you can kind of just spin them out.
Well, the
Okay.
Jody, who ordered them, right, Jody?
Yeah, do you want me to order some? I have to order something different.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you.
All right, that's all I have. I just wanted to bring it up while Keith was on.
That's fine. Thank you. It's great, greatly appreciated. Councilwoman Clark.
I still got more.
Oh.
They just jokes.
Sorry, you gotta keep
Now, I just also want to say that the Crusaders will be having a beef and beer this year, the 26th at Crossroads. June, 26th of June. It'll be basically a fundraiser for T-ball and flag football. Crusaders are looking for, anybody wants to donate, get passes, something that we can wrap off at the convention. Hopefully next week I should have tickets, so anybody can reach out to me for tickets. They're $20 a piece. The other thing is, and I kept meaning to bring it up ever since I got back on the city council. I don't know if Brian can answer or somebody. What is going on with the Acme project?
So that guy is making very, very slow progress.
I see that. I thought maybe they just walked away from it, or.
He's still chipping away from what I understand.
Okay.
I will say that we actually, the Lansing Press called
Uh-huh.
and actually sent me an email and wanted a statement from me. So I asked Donna to call, what's his name, Persian?
Yeah.
I think it's Persian. He said that with COVID, he stopped
Oh, okay.
and he's starting back up. She called him. This is his
It's the
word.
most recent update.
He wants to go on. This is just this week. I think the press emailed me last Thursday. And so Donna reached out to him and he said he was shut down due to COVID.
Gotcha.
And he's wanting to start and he wants to get back full going to June. It is a car retail. I don't think the cars will be there.
Yeah,
They're selling cars
that's what we
online.
thought. It was supposed to be an empty building.
Right. But he blamed everything on COVID and
Okay.
that's why he shut down. And that's the statement I gave to the press.
Mhm.
And I'll probably in the paper
I
this weekend.
think, yeah, I had a feeling that's what it was. But
Yeah.
I kept meaning to bring it up, and I kept forgetting about it every time I drive by it.
Yeah, I knew he hadn't walked away. So
But
That was just like Monday.
there you go.
that was
Good time.
it. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it.
Councilwoman Clark.
I just want to say thank you to our men and women who have served, and for the reason for the holiday. Everyone, please be safe this weekend. And also to touch upon the mayor's comments with Kathy's Kitchen, she will be having her grand opening on Monday. She was supposed to be having it on Saturday, but due to the forecasted weather, she changed it to Monday at noon. So everyone, please go out there and support her. I've tried her food. It is very delicious. And that's it.
All right, I'll finish up with this. So first and foremost, everyone that works in the city hall, you guys are greatly appreciated. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So don't ever think anything else. With that being said, to everyone, this weekend, just take that moment to reflect on why we have the freedoms we have and the life that we do. A lot of men and women put their lives on the line, pays the ultimate sacrifice for what we have today. So with that, everyone have a good, safe, and happy holiday. And now, by advisement of Councilman Trifle, I would like to move into public comment, and with saying this, I know we have one resident, Mrs. Mulhern, that would like to speak on a matter, so may I have a motion to open public comment?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All right, Ms. Mulhern, are you on?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I just wanted to sort of share maybe some inspiration with the board. In regards to the renovation or the revitalization of the city. The last week of April, I was down in Stone Harbor. I haven't been there in a long time, and it was so cute and it was so nice. And one of the T-shirts said that it was 7 miles long. I'm like, my gosh, Egg Harbor City is, a small city too. And if Stone Harbor, could be so cute and draw such, so many people, I couldn't find a parking spot. It was the last week in April. It was like upper 50s, and it was packed. And so I just wanted to say, if Stone Harbor can do it, and I know I've heard that Hamilton has turned their city around, and I guess there is you guys have a committee to try to to revitalize Egg Harbor City. But I just wanted to just kind of share some hope that, if these other cities can do it, we can too. And, I was just looking real quick before the meeting started tonight online, and there's like 12 ways to revitalize your city. And I was happy to see that some of these ideas in here that you guys are already doing. But I thought a couple of them were kind of interesting. So one of them was establish a regularly occurring public event that showcases downtown merchants, musics, and food. And what came to mind as an example is like, maybe we could get Renault Winery to come in and have like a wine tasting festival or something. I don't know. It was just a random thought. And then another idea I thought was interesting was to create a permanent public market. I think we tried that before. There was that it used to be a tile store that was a market. I don't know why that failed, but maybe we can find some lessons learned at why things have failed, and do what we can to turn this city around. And then I thought this was particularly interesting too. It said create a branded downtown. Oh, I'm sorry. To have I think I copied it wrong. I'm sorry, but they were suggesting to have like an offshoot of a local university, and it's like, if we could have like a satellite establishment of Stockton College, like have like one of their buildings down here to to be associated with Stockton College or something. I thought that was really interesting. So I just wanted to say, like, I appreciate everything that the council people are doing, to try to revitalize the city. It's such a cute city. It's got so much potential. Please keep moving forward. Don't get discouraged. There's other cities that have done it. We can do it too. And I'm really happy to hear that Leatherheads is in the process of possibly being purchased. That's fantastic. And just lastly, like, the mayor had mentioned about an ordinance that could be passed to help bring in businesses. And, if there's something that could be done to move that forward, it sounds like a great idea. If you guys, do whatever you can to try to revitalize the city, because it's a really good city, and you guys make a lot of sacrifices of your time and stuff. And so just keep up the good work. I think people notice, I notice, that you guys are working really hard and coming up with creative ideas. And, if Stone Harbor can do it, if Hamilton can do it, we can do it too. So I just wanted to say that. So that's all. Thanks.
And Tracy, just to note, we did try to get Stockton here years ago, and you actually have to have an accredited business here, and we do not have one. So that's why they could not come here and have a satellite. Like Hamilton has it because they have a medical facility there, and that's where their medical students go. So that's, they're accredited. So we can't do that.
Okay.
But the ordinance would go a long way to making businesses either fix up their buildings or sell it, because they can't sit there vacant when there's two people who want to come in and open up a restaurant on Philadelphia Avenue and cannot find a place to go. That's sad. And we have a lot of money to spend with our NPP grant, and we're trying so hard. We did the flowers this Sunday in 92-degree weather. Thank you, Michael Penny, for that. And, you know, we're trying really hard, but we're spinning our wheels if we can't get businesses in there. But thank you for bringing that up. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I just wanted, this is Meg, Tracy brought to my attention, she sent me an email about the trees on Philadelphia Avenue had zip ties around them that were digging into the trees. So she was tossing around a few ideas and asked if there was anything, she had a few suggestions, so I got Keith involved, which Keith is on here, and he just sent me a picture. But Tracy wanted she just felt that was not good for the tree, and Keith said, I'll cut them off, and he did it, Tracy. They're all done, the 1, 2, and 3 block of Philadelphia Avenue. He cut the zip ties on, I guess when they were planted, these zip ties were put around the trees, and so, anyway, Keith just sent me a picture that they did the 1 and 2. If you want to comment, Keith, I just wanted to bring it up because Tracy was very concerned about the trees. It's done.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, when we put the American flags up Wednesday morning, we went ahead and cut, I believe there's like 2 to 3 average zip ties on the tree to hold the electrical lines up. So we went ahead and cut them all off and extended them. So now that it's loose on there, so the tree has room to grow again. So I think we did we did both sides, 1, 2, and 300 block all the way down. So when I was talking to the guys over in Public Works, they said that it's something that they used to do every 6 months when they were first planting because they grew and then they seemed to slow down. So might got put to the wayside, but we got it on the board now and we'll keep up on it.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you, Ms. Mullenhour, it's greatly appreciated. Anybody else from the public that have any comments?
Yeah, this is Nanette. How are you guys today?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I wanted to thank council for passing that bag up New Jersey resolution. And just to let you know, we did do a bag distribution on May 4th, and we have about 100 bags left. So we'll be doing another bag giveaway at Denora's. Incolingos, way back, Denora's. Incolingos in the next couple weeks. Also, I wanted to thank you for agreeing to take the match for the tree grant. The Green Team had suggested that only the trees that were removed from the last several road programs be replaced. So I doubt that'll actually add up to $30,000. And I'm sorry. I doubt that'll be add up to 30,000. So it'll probably be a lot less. I did send an email to, excuse me? I did send an email to Ryan asking him to let us know how many trees were removed over the last 5 or 8 years or so we can work with that number. Also, I'd like to know who is actually going to apply for that grant. I mean, the original grant that was submitted years ago, I wrote, and it could be submitted the way it was written, because what happened was after we got the grant, we found out that council wouldn't let us do what we had in the grant, and we had to revise everything and plant the trees in parks and on New York Avenue. So the way the original grant was written would request homeowners to say if they want a tree in front of their house or not. And we would the Green Team would survey them to determine how many trees we need to replace. So if anybody else is going to be working on that grant, please let me know so I don't spin my wheels on my end. Also, do you know if the city is going to be applying for the Atlantic Electric Resiliency or Stewardship grants?
Yes, that email was sent, right?
We talked about, but what's the project we actually want to apply for?
Well, I don't know. All those grants came through like in a matter of days, and I know you guys jumped on the big grants. The resiliency grant is, I think, 10,000, and the stewardship grants are 5,000. The green team had our meeting the other night, and we talked about the possibility of applying for the smaller grant. And the project that we wanted to do was to label some of the trees in Lincoln Park. We were in there, and some of those trees are absolutely gorgeous specimens. And it would be nice to have placards at the foot of each tree saying what the Latin name is and what the common name is, and maybe a little bit about the tree. So that if people are interested in planting trees on their property, they'll have an idea what their tree is going to look like and what the name of the tree is and so forth. So if the city's not going to apply for any of those grants, the green team would like to apply for the, I guess that would be the stewardship grant, which is the smaller of the two.
I think that's a great idea to know.
And then I also wanted to let council know that I thought Jody would have mentioned it in her report, but the green team in the city is the recipient of a Climate Corps fellowship. We have a gentleman who will be working with the city for 10 weeks over the summer, and he'll be doing all the research and compiling data about the city's energy usage, which is like a prerequisite to applying for a lot of other grants. But that is coming to the city at no cost. It's through the College of New Jersey, but the fellow is from Massachusetts, and Jody's going to have her hands full because he has a very heavy accent. I hope she can understand what he's saying. These meetings will be all done remotely, so but it'll be a nice document at the end of the summer that the city will have to, look at its energy consumption. What else here? The other thing is our application for recertification is due June 6th. And I've been working on the application. Of course, most of the items are not completed, but you have until the end of the year to complete them. And as of yesterday, we had 150 points, which is the amount we need to get recertified. However, like I said, there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of loose ends in the grant application. So if we could have Jody review it and maybe Ryan look over, I need Ryan's help with the solar project. If you could put some information in about that, and that New Jersey Transit idea for the bike travel lanes on Buffalo, and was it Buffalo and Cincinnati? If we could put that in there as well, because if the city's going to move forward with that, again, we have until the end of the year to complete some of these action items. So I think that's all I had.
Thank you, Galloway.
Thank you.
Have yourself a happy and safe holiday.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else from the public with any comments?
Yes, this is Kim Hesse. I first want to start with thanking Megan and Jackie for the vaccine. I was one of the recipients. Thank you so much. I got the Johnson & Johnson. It went very smoothly. It was a really great operation there. The other person I wanted to thank was Keith. Thanks for everything you do, Keith, and thank you for helping me out with the park and where to place the debris so we can work together when we do any work in the park with the gardening club. And as far as with the trash cans, I think that's great. Thank you for doing all that. The other thing I wanted to mention was the Zoom. When everybody voted to have Zoom and to have to go into the council meetings, I think that's great to do both. The only thing I could say with the Zoom is I'm glad we're able to go in because a lot of it was broken up for me today. I don't know if it's on my part or not. I don't know if everyone on Zoom was having some issues at times hearing, but I was. But I think it's a great thing to have both. The other thing that I wanted to know was, as far as on New Orleans Avenue, the 4 lots, I just wondered, I mean, I don't know, was there a builder that built the homes behind that on, I guess it was Baltimore Avenue? Was there a builder there prior to build all those homes? Does anyone know, please?
The city subdivided. Yeah, the city, I believe, sold those lots, and that was one of the projects that was probably done in 2004, 5, something like that. That was a.
They were the same builder at that time.
It was or was not?
It was.
Yeah, and
It was.
there's still lots for sale out there too.
Okay. Because I was going to say, with those 4 lots, I thought it might, you know, if you could get a builder, because I worry, I rollerblade out there and I see they dropped one house. I spoke to the person that was dropping it there. He brought it from Ocean City and put it there. And, you know, it was a home for, you know, there's a group, I guess it's a group home. And then I believe on Baltimore, the corner of Baltimore and Easterwig, I'm guessing that's going to be a group home too, but I'm not sure.
That's it.
No, it can be, Kim, because
it's a rental.
It's a rental.
It can be because right, Brian, because it's within 300 feet.
It's within 1,000 feet.
We just passed through the
Okay, good.
land use board that you can't have it 600 feet.
1,000 feet.
1,000 feet.
The schools, okay.
in the school, right?
So well, anyway, I was just wondering if that person that had built those properties before would even be interested, or there's someone else that would be interested, as opposed to selling them individually. So maybe we'd have a little bit more control over it. Just a thought. I thought I'd throw it out there. The other thing I wanted to just mention, as far as the pole barn that you had mentioned, I know you said that they had, you know, gone over everything, every avenue. I was just wondering, is there other materials that can be used other than the wood? And again, I think Jody had said it's not just the material that made the price go up, but I was just wondering, would they possibly use other material like a metal? Would it be less expensive? Would it look?
Barn is metal.
Yes, I don't know.
It is metal. The whole barn is metal, not wood.
Oh, it is metal, it isn't wood. Okay, okay. Thank you.
There might be some wood in it, but
There's-
90%.
Yeah, there's some wood framing, that's it.
Oh, okay. So, okay, I thought it was because of the wood, and I know how much wood has gone up. The other thing I was wondering is, you were talking about the liquor licenses, and I know right now it's 7 liquor licenses. Seven liquor licenses that are up. It looks like to me. How many are there altogether? Do you know? Does anyone know how many liquor licenses we have?
I want to say, offhand, I want to say between the retail consumption and the plenary retail consumption, we're at 15.
15.
This is something that happens every year. The licenses run from July 1st through June 30th, is it? Or 30th. This happens every year. It has to be renewed, and it has to be renewed. And we do it typically the last meeting in May, and there's usually only 2 in June. And there's usually circumstances that they're trying to get information on their license, whether it's from the Division of Taxation or whatever. But this year, everybody is pretty much ready to renew. I do have 4 more ready to go, but they just didn't make the agenda. It has to be done every year, and they have to be done by resolution, which I sent to the ABC. This is common practice. It has nothing to do. Nobody has.
Sure.
Done nothing wrong. This is an action that has to happen every year.
I
So
was just.
yeah,
I'm sorry, I was just curious how many we have.
The liquor stores are different. They're called retail consumption.
Mhm.
And the other ones are, the restaurant is the plenary consumption. But yeah, this is just a normal practice that happens. I want to say with both, there's 15. So figure out how many are liquor stores. All the liquor stores who have them are open. So that would be the liquor stores. The rest are restaurants. Yes, we do have some that aren't active. some that were COVID related, so the state of New Jersey has not taken action on those because they feel they were closed because of the COVID. But
Okay.
prior to COVID, you could stay closed for 2 years without having any action. So the ones that aren't open, most of them are COVID related, so there's no action that needs to be taken by anybody at this time. So, but
Is Leatherheads, have they mentioned renewing theirs?
they have, she actually, she meaning Lisa Savage, who was the owner of Leatherheads, she brought in her payment today. It just didn't make the agenda. I figured we had all of June, so I didn't add it on. Oh yeah, she's renewing it, and I don't know if you heard.
Yes.
I did mention that we have an application for a person-to-person transfer for that license, which she's consent to transfer. So her reviewing it would, obviously, I don't think we'd get the approvals back from the police department for the transfer before the end of June. So, or we may very well, but she's renewing it, yes, because that's what you have to do in this month anyway, so.
Thank you. And lastly, I just wanted to know, as far as what the mayor had mentioned about tabling the ordinance for restaurants, can it be elaborated on, or is this not the place to elaborate on it right now? Should it be another time? I mean, I know this is.
It was the ordinance to add businesses onto these community champions ordinance that we have right now. It's for residential units that have to register. They get, I forget what the other word was, properties. They have to be registered with this community champions, and they have so much time to open their doors again, or sell it, or whatever they're going to do. They just can't sit on it, or because they have to pay a registration fee, and as the registration fee goes on, it gets more expensive. So
I think that's a good plan, really, myself, but I'm not voting on it, but I think it would be something to really consider as a council. But thank you so much for everything that you all do. I may not seem grateful at times, but I do appreciate everything you do, and I know it's a lot of hard work. Have a good Memorial Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Anyone else from the public with any comments?
Yes, my name is Michael Sheridan, somewhat new resident, been here for about 8 months or so. We're actually on the lake on New York Ave, back on the Indian Cabin Creek. And I just want to say how awesome the lake is and all the improvements that have been made to it. We've been very impressed and are really looking forward to using it. I wanted to use this opportunity to offer support for the crackdown on ORV usage on the trails around the lake. That has been one of our bigger problems since being here, just the noise in general and the speeding, and then the destruction of the trails themselves. It's been a noticeable improvement over the past couple of weeks with the stepped up enforcement, especially along back behind the lake. The other thing I wanted to mention is dogs on the North Beach. Since we've been here, we've had a couple incidents of being charged by dogs, actually on the road itself, either walking and riding bikes. We've had 2 incidents on the North Beach and 1 incident on the Lake Beach itself. The worst one, where I actually called the police, was I was cleaning up a little bit back in the old Park Hotel Foundation. And as I came out of the woods and started walking on the roads, I had 3 dogs charge me from about maybe 50 to 75 yards away. They didn't bite or anything, but they set up a defensive perimeter position a couple feet from me, and the owners had pretty much no control over the dogs. I witnessed another event where they actually scared some lady into the lake, where she actually jumped into the lake and swam away from the dogs. So I just don't know what the ordinances are for that North Beach and the Lake Beach in general, but there seems to be a couple of repeat offenders who don't have much control over their dogs, and their dogs will charge. And it seems pretty problematic and a liability. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the council. I'm not sure if anyone else has complained about that. It's not too many dogs I see out there, but the ones that are there charge. And it's gotten to the point where with our kids, we have 2 young kids and we like to ride our bikes. We won't even ride around like the Cheryl or Graveside anymore when they're there, because we know they'll charge us in the road. We instead walk our bikes along Philadelphia Ave, which is kind of like an overgrown trail, and then we'll come in on the campground side. We don't really like doing it because we have to walk the bikes, and we also like visiting the Shaler grave. So I just don't know if there's, you know, I know the ORV usage is now being enforced. It would be nice to have that beach enforced for leashes and not being in the water as well. And I'm sure that some dog owners won't like that, but I don't know. It just feels like it's an accident waiting to happen over there. That's all I got. Thank you.
We actually do have an ordinance out there where the dogs are not allowed to swim at a certain time during the year. So that ordinance should be posted on that side of the lake, and I do believe it is.
Okay. Yeah. There are a couple of dog owners I talked to, and they seem to think that it's pretty much a free reign off leash dog park. They know they're not allowed in during the summer, but in the winter months, they do still let the dogs kind of run around. And I guess since we're here now in the winter and we're using those trails, we're just not really used to seeing people walk by on that road. But that is the most convenient road for us to use since we are on the northwest side of the lake. So I'm just not really sure what the plan would be long term. I just seen so many people be charged by these same dogs so far, where they literally run into the road. I can just see a car swerving or something else going wrong, and it just doesn't seem like a positive environment for these dogs and the people there as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sheridan. Director Emmer, are you still on or no? Still on?
Yes, I am.
Did you hear all that?
I did. I did. I'll have to look at the ordinance, the one that was just new for the lake, because to tell you the truth, I'm not clear on what it says about dogs. I know there is something. I thought it said dogs weren't allowed on that side of the beach.
That's the other side. That's the south side.
I'll double check.
Yeah.
All right, Jody. I'll double check the ordinance and look at it tomorrow and, take whatever action we have to take.
And that, we do have a pet ordinance. Remember, Mark, you were here years ago when we passed that. Remember?
Yeah, somebody actually asked me today if it was okay to have a horse in city limits. So I guess I'll have to check that too.
We just passed the animal ordinance too, but I'm talking about the pet, the one with the leash. Remember, Mark?
Right. That's what I told him. I told him there was a new pet ordinance written that I'll have to look at. So I'll have to look at it tomorrow.
But the one that has been in place since you were here before, that they have to be on the leash, the dogs can't be tethered, they have to have a shelter, blah, 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 blah. You were a part of that ordinance.
Right, but I don't know about horses.
No, that's a separate one. That's a separate ordinance.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Sheridan, if you're still on there, Director Emmer's going to look into that situation for you and see what can be done.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else from the public?
I would like to say one more thing if I could. I was remiss when I did not mention that the people that participated on Sunday, and they were Candace Negron, who bought all the flowers, which is probably about 300 or 400, I think, or maybe I was just, hallucinating from the heat, but Pastor from Zion Lutheran and her assistant are always out there, Donna, and Kim did some background there, and we did everything for us, Kim Hess. And we had a newbie, David Ponte, who was there. He was out. Who else? We had some students from the Egg Harbor City Community School, the Rippuses, and a few others from the community school. Who else? Who? Oh, Brenda Ruth stopped by on her bike and she helped out. And Phil Sartoria. And I think I covered everybody, right? So, you know what? We're lucky to have people that really care about our city. So thanks to all of them who helped out. And it looks beautiful.
Thank you. All right, if no one else from the public has any comments, can I have a motion to close public comment? Second. All right, with that being said, everybody have a safe Memorial holiday. And Councilman Gray has made a motion to adjourn. Second has been made. All in favor? Aye. Everyone have a good night. We'll see you in June.